What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new tactic video. Today we have got the best 3-5-2 to date in this game. Over 5 goals a game, tested in Italy, tested in leagues like the French League, even with Burnley. So we're covering the best teams in the world to, let's say, some less favourite teams in the world. And today we're going to go over 3 different variants you can use back home. So make sure you do download all 3 or copy all 3, because they all have their own unique purpose that you need to get in on. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's start the testing. We're going to go with Burnley first. And over to Burnley, we have a great season. Now, we don't win the Premier League. In fact, we don't actually win a single trophy. But of course, you can't expect that when playing with a team like Burnley. We do, however, get Champions League football. And do you know what? We're not that far off actually finishing in 2nd place. So a really, really strong performance in the Premier League. Of course, ridiculous overachievement to go from relegation favourites to 3rd place overall. Not a bad display in the Carabao Cup as well, getting all the way to the semi-finals. And if we actually go and look into the Premier League, we can go and see that we've got a lot of players performing very, very well in the Barclays Premier. That was a bit of a throwback, not the Barclays Premier League. That's a really big throwback in the Premier League. Now, stat-wise, we are going to be 4th best when it comes to scoring, outscoring teams like Chelsea, Brighton, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Manchester United, for example. Some of the real top teams over in England. Defensively, really, really strong. Very close to rank 1 when it comes to goals conceded. And clean sheets, we are going to be down in 7th because we did concede the odd goal here or there. Obviously, you look at this, it looks really attractive. You look at the clean sheets, we are going to be inside the top 10. But why we are so good when it comes to getting points is because we were scoring a lot of goals. Up there with, obviously, as I said, some of the best teams in the league. So a really, really key statement. Now, possession might shock you. We should be nowhere near this, okay? We are 5th place in the league, up there with Brighton, United, City and Chelsea, with a Burnley team. That says a lot about how good this tactic is. And I mean, the data hub is going to look like this. 2 goals a game, 0.92 conceded, 2 bonuses there. First one, you're scoring double to what you are going to be conceding. Second bonus, it's under a goal a game conceded, so we're doing everything to utter perfection while having a fantastic pass completion. Not too much to hate. And even against teams like Liverpool in the Premier League, one of the Premier League's finest teams from last season, we're absolutely playing around them. Now, despite we're Burnley, we should be playing unattractive football, right? We're not. We're playing through the lines, nice short passing, playing our game against literally a powerhouse. So this was done using a defensive version as well. This entire season was. So that is why I say get all 3 tactics, because you can produce this. Now over to a bit more of a powerhouse, let's just say that. We are going to save Monaco till last. It's going to be Inter Milan, where we are going to win the double. The Italian Cup, we're going to blitz the final 4-0. And when it comes to the Serie A, we are not only going to win, we're going to go invincible and pretty much dominate every single stat line. Now, we are Inter Milan, that has to be remembered. It's a pretty well-known fact they're the strongest team in the game in this league. But this is the other perspective of things, you know. We've tested with Burnley, pretty much rock bottom of the Premier League. This is now what things look like at the top of the table, and every stat line I would want, we're going to take. 196 goals scored in the league alone, over 800 shots, 161 shots faced, 62% possession, 819 shots, or dribbles for, should I say, not shots, that's 826, the fewest conceded and the most clean sheets. So, clean sheet-wise, we're nearly double over 2nd place. And if you're good at maths, you probably already calculated this, but it works out at over 5 goals a game, under half a goal conceded, getting towards a 91% pass completion, and close to 22 shots a game. That is pretty much the perfect tactic. What a season. Over to France, we done what I would have dreamt of, and that is to knock PSG off their perch, and we do it by 5 points. Now, the teams that we lost against, we didn't even lose against them. We drew against them once and beat them once, so PSG have been dethroned. And do you know what? It was such a good season for Numan Ansu Fati. Paul Pogba, also in this database, played really, really well. And once again, you're seeing similar patterns to Inter Milan. The clean sheets, the fewest conceded, the most dribbles, the most possession over Paris Saint-Germain, most shots, most goals. I mean, outscoring PSG says something. Now, just to make this very clear, this is the test done with the default version. Inter Milan was all done on the attacking version, and obviously Burnley was done on a defensive. So every single team was tested with a different variant. So please bear that in mind and use it to your relevant team. The data hub, just over 3 goals a game, bang on half a goal conceded. Whatever variant we have played, one fundamental keeps in place: the passing. always short passing, getting the job done, good calm play on the ball, always around the 90% pass completion. A few less shots in this, which, you know, does surprise me a little bit, but it does sort of factor in having a bit more possession than the other teams in the league. And at the end of the day, regardless of having, you know, a few less shots at goal, we've come out champions. So who's the real winner? And the last game of the season, it is going to be a 5-0 thumping over Lille. A very decent team in the French league that, to be fair, we probably have an equal squad to, but not an equal performance because we absolutely blitzed them. A very comfortable game, and we got off to a great start so early on, and that's actually justified by 2 goals. We are going to go 2-0 up before we even get into 4 minutes played, and Ansu Fati just having an absolute field day, and I'm hoping this little spell at Monaco for him can re-spark that career, because there is a player in there that just sadly wasn't really found at Barcelona or Brighton. So I mean, hopefully he can come to life a little bit. And it's always nice seeing Paul Pogba back on the pitch, as we are going to go 4-0 up from a Golovin penalty. And this was all in the first half. The last goal comes in the 72nd minute, as it is Bentaleb in a really iffy place. I mean, what are you doing there? Cheers for the goal. Over to your favourite part of the video, that is going to be the tactic breakdown. If you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you do enjoy rebuilds, make sure you come on over to Daily Josh. It's my second channel dedicated to rebuilds. And if you do want to see me make these tactics live, test them live, answer your questions, and play some Football Manager, I am back streaming on Twitch now, twitch.tv/JoshDaly. Replace the A in the daily with an X, and you're going to be there in no worries. So make sure you come and say hello. A ton of you guys did before. We are back consistently on there right now, so make sure you come and pop your head in. Now, to make this tactic, all you want to do is create your own style and go over and load a 5-3-2. Don't worry, it is going to shape up a little bit differently, but that is going to give you the basic fundamental. Now, over to the mentality, I actually opted for positive. Now, this is for the default version. Again, make sure you stick around for all 3 tactics, because this video especially, all of them were tested over a whole season. So make sure you are getting all 3. Now, the goalkeeper is simply going to be a goalkeeper on defend, so it is very nice and simple to follow. No real need for any instructions when, to be honest, they're not really needed. The central defender is going to be a central defender, simply on the default. Again, keeping things quite basic when we can, because more instructions doesn't always necessarily mean better results. You don't always need loads and loads of instructions for every single player, so that's exactly why we are keeping it as it says on the tin. We are then going to play 2 wide centre-backs, and both of these are going to be operating on support, so we're not afraid to actually get the centre-backs forward and actually get them involved. Now, on the right-hand side, it's not so much about this, because we do actually tell him to dribble less. On the left-hand side, he is simply told to close down less, so the player on the left won't be as aggressive going into the challenges, but will have the opportunity to progress forwards. On the right-hand side, he's going to be told to just, you know, calm yourself down, dribble less, don't be too crazy, and keep things nice and simple. The right-back is going to be an inverted wing-back on support, and he is simply going to be told to get further forwards, because by natural setting, he already has 4 instructions: cutting inside, crossing less, sitting narrow, and roaming. He doesn't need to be told to do that much more. And the left hand side is going to offer something a lot more attacking. A wing-back on attack, told to cross more often, dribble more, and also run wide with the ball. So this left back needs to be good at going forwards. He needs to have confidence and has to have a lot of attacking ability in that locker, because he's going to get used quite a fair bit. Now, when it comes to the 3 in midfield, I've actually gone with a flat 3. So it is a 3, a 5, and then a 2. Let's go over and talk about that midfield right now, starting with the left-hand side. Now, this can be sort of tweaked a little bit in terms of actually where you want to have these players, but this for me was the best overall layout, so I'll just copy what I do personally. On the right hand side, we are going to use a CM on attack, and he is simply going to be told to roam from the position. Again, this is perfect because this player will push up, the inverted wing back can then obviously drive in here, so a really good addition to that. And this player being told to dribble less because I don't need him there, because the inverted wing back is going to be in that position, and I want this player to stay wide and not push up as well. So it all works really well on the right hand side. Now, the best place for that ball winning midfield player on defend is simply going to be in the middle. Lock it down, 5 instructions by default, and we'll get the job done. I want to quickly say at this part of the video, if you were interested in getting all of these perks, it includes my entire year's worth of tactics, console tactics, mobile tactics, rebuild files, one-on-one tactical help, ad-free viewing, early access, Patreon exclusive tactics, and so many more perks. You can come on over and check out the Patreon. There is 30% off this month only, a celebration for another record-breaker month. Make sure you do not miss another day and come and check out a load of content and be part of a team of 6,000 people. We're absolutely smashing it. There's tons of stuff. Make sure you go and get involved. And on the left-hand side, we are going to be using a deep line forward simply on support. And with this player, again, you can get sort of a little bit creative. Like if you've got a bit of a baller, let's say, you can dribble more, and that would be completely fine. For me, I didn't really have that across all three teams, and I thought it was a little bit overkill. But if you're maybe a goal down, you don't want to commit to a whole attack and change, that is something you definitely could consider. And going up to the front two, the advanced forward on the left is going to be told to shoot more often, and on the right hand side he is simply going to be told to do this, and that is going to be a deep line forward on support. If I can click on it, and he will be told to roam from his position, and that is going to give you all of the wonderful player roles. In possession, we're going to leave it on fairly wide, mix crosses, work ball into the box, focus through the middle, overlap left, overlap right, really get those runs in. A lot of people get misguided and think because you've got an inverted player, overlapping doesn't work. It's not just for the wing back, just to make that very clear. The overlapping works really, really well. A higher tempo, a shorter passing directness, and also be more expressive. In transition, we are going to go with the top two, counter press and counter, and play to the centre backs. And out of possession, we are going to go over and lock in a high press with the higher defensive line, trap inside, and much more often on the trigger press. Now it's time to go through to the attacking version of the tactic that, of course, was deployed with Inter Milan for an entire season. So the goalkeeper remains the same, the wide centre-backs and the central defender also remains the same, the wing-back on the left remains the same. The inverted wing-back now simply goes to attack. Number one change, the DLP remains the same, the CM remains the same. This is different. A box-to-box on support, on get forwards, move into the channels, and also tackle harder. The deep line forward and advanced forward do remain unchanged, because I didn't really feel like I wanted to advance forwards. Having that deep option always was a really good suggestion. Now, the mentality goes up to attacking, which again is another really big change to the system, and a double up of run at defence and also be more expressive. Also, removing work ball into the box does create the possibility, being honest, for less quality chances but more chances, and when you're attacking, that's what you want to be seeing. We're also going to focus through the middle with keeping the overlappings on, and the passing and the tempo, that remains exactly the same. In transition, distribute to the centre backs and simply select the top three. Nice and simple. And out of possession, we are going to go with the high press, the much higher defensive line, much more often, get stuck in, step up more, and also trap inside. So this tactic is now completely at its maxed out potential for scoring goals. So use it with a powerhouse team, use it when you're chasing a goal. Those are the two scenarios you want to be using this in. The defensive for weaker teams like Burnley, and also to seal out games. Now, this tactic actually goes a little bit more direct than the rest of them, and it still had a very good amount of possession, so don't let it put you off when you see how direct this system is. The goalkeeper remains the same, the central defender remains the same, two defensive wide centre-backs on the default, a default inverted wing-back on support, and a default wing-back on the left-hand side on support, a default deep line playmaker, a default ball-winning midfield player on defend, and a central midfield player on the right on support, on mark tight, tackle harder, hold position, and shoot less often, with both of the strikers remaining the same. Now, we've gone all the way down to cautious, so it is a big switch up in how we're actually approaching the game. Pass into space is going to be deployed. The free here does remain the same because I still want those runs being made out on the left and the right hand side, and majority of the play to be done through the middle. But this is where it changes a lot, because time wasting goes all the way up. The tempo goes down, the passing goes up, and we're also going to run at defense. So we become this low tempo, sort of literally, I'm going to click it, regroup team that then counters, but also is smart. When the keeper's got the ball, slow that pace down, play it to the fullbacks and the centre-backs, and just be a frustrating team, which is why we're also going to lower the line to standard and just press a little bit. not all the way, because we're now going to be a team that is passive, we'll win the ball back eventually, and then we're going to hit you on the counter with a direct ball in behind. And you have got 3 versions of 3 very, very good 3-5-2s here that all offer something a little bit different. So be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Again, make sure you are swinging by the streams, because we're going to be making tactics, having fun, doing community stuff as well. You're not going to want to miss them, especially if you like the videos. I'll catch you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day.